Sabah everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we have a throwback. This is a long-term review of the Huawei P20 Pro. Just about a year ago this device became available and it started a new trend. It started us off thinking that triple cameras on the back of the phone is actually something that we can use, but not only that, something that we should have on more flagships in 2018 as well as 2019. So let's not waste any time. Does the P20 Pro still hold its own in 2019? This is TK, let's check it out. Like and subscribe as usual and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever we put out new videos on the channel. So the P20 Pro did start a couple of things for us last year. There's a couple of trends. One of them is the gradient color that we see here. This is the Aurora glass, or the Aurora back. And it starts off more of a purplish hue, kind of gradients over to blue. And we've seen different iterations of this, even now with the P30 Pro. So something that definitely Huawei realized that this was very good and people loved it. Of course, the triple camera setup was also one of the first things they started here, and that actually started a trend. We started to see actually a lot more devices with triple cameras like the V40. We also started this year with the Samsung devices, the S10 line, S10 and S10 Plus. So we're definitely seeing that people are recognizing the benefit of triple cameras, although the configuration is a little bit different. And I say that because what we have here is three cameras. One is a high megapixel count, a 40 megapixel count RGB one. That's basically at f1.8. The secondary sensor is a 20 megapixel monochrome sensor, an actual monochrome sensor. We're not using a filter to get those colors. It's actually a beautiful monochrome sensor. The third lens that we have here is a telephoto lens. It's an 8 megapixel sensor that enables us to go from not only 1 to 3 times to 5 times hybrid zoom, but we have 1 to 3 times optical zoom because we have that secondary, well, the tertiary camera on the back. Now on the front we have a 24 megapixel sensor that's providing us an f2.0 aperture. So that's mostly for your selfies, and we do have a notch. And there's of course a little speaker there to be able to support the dual speakers, as we have stereo speakers here. The display is a 6.1 inch OLED display capable of supporting 1080p resolution, and that is the maximum that we have. Let's go ahead and unlock. The fingerprint sensor, as you notice, is actually present at the bottom. That's one of the few devices, or the last devices that we saw last year from Huawei that supported the fingerprint sensor at the bottom. We support gestures as well as really quick unlocking and very secure. On the back, we don't have wireless charging, but we do have that glass again, the Aurora back, and of course just a dual tone LED flash in the back. On the top, we have an IR blaster, one of the microphones, and a couple of the antenna bands. On the left side of the device, we have the SIM tray that supports 2 SIM cards, no memory card, and not even actually supported the nano memory card that Huawei released later that year. And on the right side, we have a volume rocker and a nicely accented power button, very easy to recognize, and I feel like in the right position. Switching over to the bottom, you'll notice there's a missing headphone jack, as this is one of the first devices they decided to just go away from the headphone jack, and they do include a dongle in the actual box. We have a bottom firing speaker, a USB-C for audio and data, as well as charging, and of course the married earpiece at the top with the bottom firing speaker provide us stereo speakers on the P20 Pro. The display is beautiful, it's gorgeous. I am running Nova Launcher on top of this, so I have additional gestures in here. We have a dark UI that was built in. Now at launch, the P20 Pro came out with Oreo, and we did receive the Android Pie update. And as you can see, Android 9.0 with EMUI 9.0 with GPU turbo support. But not only that, we also have March 1st, 2019 security patch update, which means we're receiving not only updates, but also all the way up to date. So we are running on the latest updates as we are in the beginning of April. This device has 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage with the Kirin 970. So this is last year's chipset, just keep that in mind. Now we do have an NPU in here capable of providing a scene recognition for the camera. That's one of the main things, as well as we have gestures. One of the other cool features that we received here over with Android Pie is the ability of using wireless projection. And that enables me to be able to actually cast my device screen with EMUI desktop mode directly to a TV that's compatible, like a Samsung or an LG TV. And it gives me the ability of connecting to it wirelessly and actually just basically control it like a PC without having to use wires. I can keep my phone charged, everything works great. And it's definitely one of the really nice things. We received the update, and we can also still obviously project our display if we want to do that, but we can also display the EMUI desktop mode directly off of here. Dolby Atmos support, NFC support, eye comfort, all the standard options that we've had before. The settings tab and dark mode is supported here, as this is an OLED display. Again, sound is great. We have Dolby support, as I showed you guys before. Storage, 128 gigs of internal storage. We have navigation options galore. We have from gestures, as you can see here, I'm able to basically swipe and get into them. You also have the ability of going off-screen gestures using the fingerprint sensor, single key navigation, triple key, obviously the 3-key navigation, the standard one, or even turning on a navigation dock. All of those options were updated, and now we have a lot of options in there. The camera itself is still one of the more fantastic cameras on the market. We have portrait mode, night mode, aperture mode, and keep in mind that night mode, the one that we see now on the P30 Pro, the P20 Pro, all of those modes started up here. So this is one of the first ones that you can use your phone handheld without a tripod to be able to take really good night shots. Portrait modes, of course, photo, and you'll be able to basically set up your stage lighting. You can go here back and forth and set up the lighting for your subject. So those things did definitely come through. Photo mode, video mode, and as well as pro mode. All of these options will support 1x, 3x, and 5x hybrid zoom, which is very, very stable. And you can also download additional modes. And of course, as I mentioned to you guys, that actually an actual monochrome mode. You can see the difference in the colors and the way things look like. We have aperture standard, we have portrait mode, pro mode, even in monochrome. So fully utilizing the actual monochrome sensor that we have in the back. And of course, this is going to be great if you're trying to use them. And you can see right there, it turns on right away using the NPU to be able to give us really good images. So you can do it, zoom in and then focus on the macro mode. And of course, we have additional options that we can go in here with the master AI, mute timer options, and of course, going up to the resolution using the 40 megapixel sensor, or you can use the 10 megapixel sensor, which generally gives you the best images. But if you really want to bump it up, you can definitely go up to the RGB sensor right there. Some of the best experiences you're going to be getting on the device is going to be on the P20 Pro. We have a 4,000 milliamp battery that quick charges up to 41% in 30 minutes and about 100% in a little bit over an hour. But not only that, you also have a 1080p panel. So marry that with the 4,000 milliamp battery, and gameplay within Fortnite or PUBG or any of the supported devices or games will definitely work really good for you. On top of the fact that because of the NPU and the GPU turbo, we're able to get up to 40 frames per second in PUBG. As I mentioned to you guys at the beginning, this has stereo speakers, and not only that, it has Dolby support. So make sure your Dolby Atmos is turned on, and let's listen. Volume up. Definitely very, very nice. That's Alex Scrindo Jumbo, my normal song that I usually play for you guys. Gameplay, movies, everything, HD on Netflix will be supported here. We do support LTE in the US. I am running this on AT&T right now, and internet speeds are running fantastic. So this is again running on LTE. Let's go ahead and run the quick speed test here with AT&T. So again, US support up to, we're almost like around 30 megabits down, 25, 30 megabits down. And this is again not running on full bars. Netflix has HD, all of the things that you normally expect out of a device. I'll let this one finish. And of course, just all the supported things in the US. Now, it does have a notch. That's one thing that we're still even seeing in 2019 with the P30 Pro, although that one has a smaller notch as we lost the actual earpiece. So that's one of the things you want to keep in mind. If you're looking for stereo speakers, great display, long battery life, great camera, monochrome sensor, we don't have a wide angle lens in the back. That's something you want to keep in mind. The pictures on this are going to look fantastic. You're not going to be disappointed with the quality of the images you're going to be receiving here. Night mode is even good. This is just standard HDR, and you're able to still push out some light and get the actual information there. And again, the monochrome sensor here is absolutely second to none, and I really wish that this is still available in 2019, although the wide angle lens is definitely really, really appreciated. The P20 Pro is definitely a very strong contender. Even though it's running last year's chipset with the Kirin 970, we still have a lot of horsepower to use here, as well as a very large battery and a lot of options that we don't have now anymore in 2019. One of them is the monochrome sensor. The other option that we lost on the P30 Pro is actually the stereo speakers, as they decided to go with the in-display sound generation. So they removed the earpiece at the top, removing stereo speakers on this, and we still don't have 3.5mm headphone jacks. So there's some compromises that they went with the P30 Pro, and I still think the P20 Pro in 2019 is still a great choice. So if you're looking for a device or you're considering getting a brand new device, it actually is a lot cheaper to go with the P20 Pro than some of the other options on the market, and you're getting a lot of options here. Massive battery, great cameras, great display, long playtime, and fast recharging. Now, we don't have wireless charging, but I feel like wired charging still works much better on these devices. So let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of the P20 Pro? Do you have one, or are you maybe considering upgrading to something like that? I know one of my friends decided to go from the Mate 9 all the way to the P20 Pro, as that actually is a very nice option to upgrade to. Like and subscribe as usual, share this with your friends, and let me know in the comments below what do you think. I'll see you guys in the next video.